One of the most catchiest phrases, and I know that is a grammatical error when you say most and catchiest, all of them are superlatives. But in Kenya, when it comes to video, when it comes to drama, it is something that is very relatable because sometimes our life is a film and we start asking ourselves questions. Can't we tape these films? Because we've seen Nigeria, with their life as a film, they have been able to do something around it and created a whole industry. In Kenya, what are we doing? What do we need to change to make sure that we are hitting the highs in the film industry? And even more specific, when you think about film, we are thinking about a whole 1.5 hours of sitting down and enjoying proper film, or sometimes a series that you follow along. But where is the space for short films? A 7-minute film, a 15-minute film, a 20-minute film. Where is that space? Well, in studio today we have Fred Makoro, who's a filmmaker, and he actually is a great author when it comes to matters to do with short film. Fred, thank you very much for making time for us. Before we come into the discussion later on, what gives you hope for the Kenyan film industry?
Where we are at right now, we've made a lot of strides in terms of how we produce, how we package, how we distribute. There's a lot that has happened behind the scenes. And more so, even in the policy side, there's a lot of stride. We have bodies like Kenya Film Commission, Kenya Film Classification Board. These bodies are now awakening to the giant that has always been, that is the film and the creative sector at large. Definitely. So there's hope. Definitely. I mean, we've made a lot of strides and there's a lot more to come.
Definitely. And we'll be exploring that hope, especially in the short sector, subsector of the film genre, and see how we can make money out of it.
Absolutely.
Well, my name is Nokip Kimboy, and welcome to Business Today. And we begin on matters to do with devolution, where governors from the Lake Region Economic Bloc have voiced their frustration over delays in the disbursement of devolved funds by the National Treasury, warning that the situation is stifling operations and undermining devolution. Chairman of the bloc, Kisumu Governor Anyang' Nyong'o, emphasized the need to address critical issues like food security and climate change, noting that the region must adopt effective strategies to ensure food sufficiency and mitigate the impacts of shifting environmental patterns.
Without a doubt, if we cannot resolve and determine the rightful share of counties on revenues collected at the national level, we may go back to the failed regional system that we had at the beginning of independence. Even in the area of blue economy, we are put in a situation where we cannot deliver in terms of a constitutional mandate. And I think this is something that as the Lake Region Economic Bloc and the Council of Governors, we must continue to have that debate.
As the Chair of Finance, we are looking at efficiency in the Office of the Controller of Budget. We'll continuously call out that office so that we eliminate the bureaucracies and inefficient that office to facilitate a release of funds. I know most of the counties haven't received their September equitable share, and October, despite the fact that the money is CRF, we don't want at the end of the financial year to be called out for not spending the money, and yet the Office of the Control of Budget is the one that has problems.
All right, from the counties, now let's get into our wellness. Stakeholders in the education sector have been encouraged to promote mental health education in institutions of higher learning. Specialists have emphasized that a strong focus on mental health and mental well-being can cultivate a positive learning culture that drives academic success and personal growth. The stakeholders were speaking at the Excel Global College during their career day. The career day is aimed at elevating education through the power of information and communication technology in the country, with focus on inspiring learners to embrace ICT as the cornerstone of future job markets.
we offer a business game to help them interact with Udu as a software and basically learn how they'll be able to do their day-to-day jobs at the end of the day when they join a company that has an ERP that they need to learn.
You all need IT. IT is like a second language now, right? Because after COVID and everything, nothing is going without IT, right? So if you know your skills to the highest level or in any career, but you don't know these soft skills, communication skills, IT skills, then you can easily be thrown out of the market.
We look at ensuring that their graduates are qualified professionals and their skills are actually what is required in the job market, so that we kill this narrative of half-baked graduates. So if you want to ensure that you have skills that are required in the market, so that you are not part of that population that is out here moving from one office to another or sending job applications, you become a job creator.
And I'm very happy today even to tell that Excel Global College is being collaborated with the Art of Living, and they're signing an MOU for the next 2 years to impart these tools and techniques to their students and their management.
And with November being the Men's Health Awareness Month, the corporate world has been urged to create spaces and avenues where men can express themselves. In the Men's Wellness Summit 2024 by Avocap Asset Managers, it came out that the average corporate sector man is under too much pressure with little support system.
Wellness circles around different areas. There is the physical and medical or wellness of the body. There is financial wellness. There is also career wellness that is growing around the space or the business that you work in. So it is space wellness is around different sectors. The strategy that a man should adopt in the coming 2025 year is to be very authentic around your finances. Don't over invest or over budget or live beyond your means. It is good to be real. Do an audit, do a personal audit, so that by the time you're sitting down to say, I'm taking up this new business, this new investment, I'm committing to be paying this amount, I'm buying this kind of an asset, this car, it is truly something that you can be able to sustain. And you'll be amazed that some of these things that we think that are what matters is just face, is just to show off. But really, when you sit back, what should matter is what is the reality.
For my fellow men, find some place where you can interact with men. Find a place where you can play, be it football, cycling. That's a place where a lot of men interact and engage freely without feeling the pressure. So don't walk alone.
Definitely very, very important. Now let's talk SMEs. The government will put in place policies to help small-scale and medium enterprises do business with ease to enable fast-tracking of economic growth and sustainability. These sentiments were echoed by Emma Komboka, Director, State Department for Trade, who represented CSR Limvuria during the 4th Syokimau Trade Expo and Conference in Nairobi, bringing together government leaders, business owners, investors and stakeholders, where technology and innovation was at play in providing 21st century solutions.
Together, the business community that is available within Syokimau and the neighboring areas, Mlolongo, Sabaki, Adhirifa, the entire Mafoko, to the residents, basically bringing the demand and the supply side of things together.
We shall work with you because it is our responsibility as a government to make sure that we create an environment that is conducive for both businesses to thrive and also residents to enjoy where they live. We will also be discussing today about the opportunities around market linkages, because we want to, link products to markets, both local and international.
We are honored to be here, and we are here to listen to our small and micro enterprises, the challenges, the opportunities that exist, so that as we move forward, we come up with policies that are going actually to mitigate the losses and the challenges that they go through.
All right, now let's talk GMOs. Clergy leaders in Kenya have voiced their support for lifting the court case against genetically modified organisms, GMOs, but emphasized the need for thorough public sensitization. Bishop John Chere, chair of the Association of Pentecostal and Evangelical Clergy of Kenya, that is APEC, stated during a meeting in Githunguri sub-county that adopting GMO technology is essential to addressing food insecurity and elevating the suffering of Kenyans. The meeting, held in Kiambu and organized by the Kenya University Biotechnology Consortium, aimed to inform religious leaders about the next step following the dismissal of the lawsuit that had blocked the lifting of the GMO ban.
We have been living in a myth that GMO is actually an animal, which we could not be able to describe. And we have now the information that GMO is actually there to make us food sufficient. And it has no harm. And we as clergy, we are the people who are dealing with the little role placed people who are in need of food. Yet we handle these issues every day, and it becomes a challenge.
We have good technologies that can be applied to improve food production and therefore avoid suffering for millions of Kenyans who are facing starvation, and so that we can reduce our imports into the country of food products that we are able to produce. One of the reasons why these technologies have not been adopted well is that the masses, the population, have not gotten the information. And we know very well that...
Now, in the spirit of G2G, from GMO to garbage, now garbage collectors in Kiambu County have raised an alarm over the worsening situation at the Kangoke dump site in Thika, citing a lack of adequate space and resources to manage waste effectively. Now, according to the chairperson of the Garbage Collectors Association, Waweru Kirangi, heaps of waste have accumulated, blocking their designated dumping area due to non-functional tractors caused by a fuel shortage. The situation, which has persisted for over a week, has forced collectors to dispose of waste in unauthorized areas. Kirangi appealed to the County Department of Environment to urgently provide fuel for the tractors, which are essential for compacting waste.
Tinga inakuja inasukuma. Ikisukuma tunapata space ya kumwaga takataka kesho. Kenye haiwezekani sahi. Kitu yenye sasa si possible juu sasa kama kutoka mvua inyeshe kumekuwa na shortages. Tiga iko ina mafuta. Subuhi tunaambiwa hakuna mafuta, sijui mafuta itakuja next week. Sasa hiyo wakati mafuta ikikosa tunapata magari azimwagi. Takataka inakuja tu ina remain kwa truck. Sasa ikiremain kwa truck sisi na si hatupati kazi.
Saizi kuna gari imelala hapa kutoka Tuesday. Umeiona pale. Hiyo gari itatoka lini? Sasa hapa tukimwaga by jioni hapa kutakuwa kumejaa. Kukijaa tutafanya nini? Na takataka inaenda kujeneretiwa. Utakuwa ukisema unahudumia mambo ya afya. Lakini usipohudumia hapa takataka itamwagwa town, itafuka drainage, cholera itatokea na magonjwa itaendelea kuwadhuru watu.
Amka asubuhi unakuja huku hakuna kitu mapato unapata juu kiingia magari hazigi juu huku kumejaa. Mashimo huku imejaa, machupa imejaa. Ukifikiria utapelekea watoto wako kitu ya kukula ama riziki, unapata hakuna. Unaenda nyumbani hivyo. Sisi tunataka kuambia gavana wa Matangi akuje huku atuongereshe ama tusaidie. Juu akikosa kukuja huku tutatokezea kwa barabara.
All right, now away from us waste management, let's talk film, because it's one of the sectors that is poised to create employment for the majority of the young people, but also gives them an opportunity to express themselves creatively. And right now I'm joined by Fred McCurry, who is a filmmaker with actually passion for short films, and we'll be coming to that. Fred, earlier on you said that there is so much hope for Kenyan film industry. From policy level, there is so much that is working, that is just us riding the wave. Help us understand, when you talk about film industry, how is it divided into? Is it series, long feature films, short films? Is it genres? How's the classification when it comes to Kenyan films?
So basically, film is film. So we have different expressions as far as films are concerned. When we talk about feature films, those are long-form films. Anything from 1 hour to 4 hours, we don't make those anymore. Then we have short films, anything under 40 minutes, short films. But we have now TV, which is now the series. That is on the other spectrum. So we have TV series that now anything from 22 minutes to 45 to now with the onset of streaming platforms, we're breaking those rules a bit, and we have, you find short series that are 50 minutes an episode, for example. So there's a lot that is there, and especially now in our country with a lot of these streaming sites, we're able now to create a bit more.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yes.
So there is innovation within the sector. It seems technology is shifting everything. In terms of now the technicalities of making film, how has that evolved in the Kenyan ecosystem? Because I'm meant to understand it's riding the wave. These days with my phone, I can actually shoot a film. That was not the case a few years ago.
Exactly.
Talk to me about that technical aspect, the evolution that we've seen in the local scene.
Yeah, I mean, we've taken a lot of strides. You remember initially in the analog era, it used to be a proper film. The name film, I mean, it's a film that you go shoot in the film, a negative that is processed. You go into a laboratory where you process that film, and then you cut it and connect to now record onto another film that you'll be using to showcase. Now that has evolved since, and we've gone into the digital space where we started with huge Betacam films, film cameras, digital cameras where you record on a tape, which has now gone into smaller storage like now SD cards and micro SIM cards, micro SD cards, and we've gone. Now we record using our phones. I mean, the phones like an iPhone and others, where you can actually do a proper feature-length film and recording using your phone. What that has done is it has opened up the space, and it has allowed more and more creators to be able to tell stories. And now, if you remain what we call rigid, technology will overtake you. So you have to keep advancing and changing with the times.
Definitely. And when you talk about our audiences, we are people of a short attention span. So we want to get something. Skits work best. In the film context, I feel there is a room for short films to enter the scene. So far in Kenya, when you talk about short films, that subsector within the film genre, how active is it? How many players are playing in it even before we move into commercializing?
Now, short film is a genre on itself. It's a short film that covers drama, comedy, whatever it is. They serve several purposes, and for the sake of this discussion, probably mention a few. One is you have a feature film that you're thinking about making in the future. So you start by picking a few scenes of that feature film and then put it into a short film that now you'll use to pitch to potential funders and investors to be able now to buy into your idea. Because remember, people gravitate towards something that they've seen, they've experienced. They can, when you start telling people about arbitrary ideas that are somewhere in the air, most people won't get it. So you do a short film that now you use to pitch. But then short films are also standalone. They have their own stories beginning to end. You watch it as a story that has a beginning, that has a mid, that has an end, and it stands on its own. That I don't know any filmmaker who's not done a short film. Unless you tell me if you know one. But all the filmmakers that I know, at one point or another, they've actually made a short film. And that is probably you're testing, or you're basically doing it for doing short film's sake, or you're doing it to get funding for your feature film. So every filmmaker I know is a director, producer, they've made short films.
Definitely. Now, quickly on the commercializing element of it, because there's the cinema route, and we saw digitization hitting that, the box office kind of arrangement that we've had for the longest time. As a filmmaker who loves short films, how do you make money from that?
So one way of making money, of course, is through premieres. Now, premieres don't necessarily give you back money, but they act as a billboard that tells everyone, hey, there's something that has been made and it is happening. Then now from there, you work with distributors, partner with distributors who will now position your short films in spaces where it can attract attention, that now will give you funding to be able to do more projects. The other areas that you could make money off short films is on streaming platforms, whether it is the mainstream streaming platforms or other self-built or self-made platforms where you're able to sell links to be able now to make money out of your short films. So there are many avenues that you could use to make short films. Others is festivals. I mean, do festival runs and win a few awards here and there, and meet potential partners who will be able to say, okay, fine, we like what you're doing. What else do you have in store? I can give you funding for that. So short films are a good way of just expressing yourself and telling stories.
Definitely.
And make money as you're doing it.
Definitely. And do you have 541?
Yes, we have 541 project, a passionate project that we have. We came together, creatives, and put together 5 amazing short films that we'll be showcasing next week on Thursday at Nairobi Cinema. And we're looking forward to Kenyans coming and joining us on that particular evening.
Definitely.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Fred, for your time.
Thank you.
All right. There you have it. Fred McCorry, filmmaker, and he says that film is just starting. It's run. And short films, it's something that you can explore even by yourself. With your cell phone, you can call your mom, tell them you act as this way, and your father and your son, and create something out of it. But it is one of those under-tapped sectors that we need to do better, and you're already starting to do that, especially in the short film subgenre in of itself. With that, we'll put a full stop to today's show. Thank you very much for joining with us. Over the past 1 week between 3:30 and 4, my name is Noah Kipkemboy. Enjoy your weekend, please. I beg you to enjoy. Even when you don't have money, just sit in the house and enjoy the ambience. But that's it. We're out. God bless you. Up next, you have me, KTN. We out. Thank you very much. That was nice, man.
Thank you, man.
All right. Okay.